Here we are, back with the next segment of the coilover work. So, what we got here? Freshly ground down struts. All I was trying to do, well, okay, I know this fits. And I feel like an idiot if it doesn't go down. Son of a... Hold up. I think I got it on there crooked. Because as you can tell, it's not perfectly grounded down. There we go. All of them, well, most of them do better than that. Watch. I hope. Anyway, you get the gist. I can now put this wherever the hell it needs to go on all four of them. What I need to do now, or okay, let me rephrase. What I want to do now is take them and get them sandblasted. Because I would like for these to look reasonable. And I know if I try... Let's redo that without stopping the camera. Now, I know if I try and do it myself, like scuff them up, give the paint something to hold to, it's going to look just... It's going to look like crap, or the paint's going to come off, or the epoxy, or whatever material I'm going to use. It's not going to hold. So, I'm going to take these, get them sandblasted, and then, you know, start working towards welding on the collars and start building these things. So, yeah, let's go get these damn things sandblasted. And we're back. I got the lovely little strut tubes sandblasted, or whatever he said it was. But I went to a local guy who is doing his little shop called Fox Fab. Good price, good turnaround. Those are my fingerprints. None of these were there before he gave them to me. So the next goal is the first step, which is get that perch on there. The same perch we looked at earlier. Apparently, because I believe these are 6-inch sleeves, we have, well, here you go, you can see 6-inch sleeves, and the perches need to be welded 6 1/8 below top of strut casing. So I'm not sure what I just did to the camera, but whatever. Anywho, so from what I gather is the coil sleeve just needs to be right up to there. The perch needs to hold it there. That's my guess. And we're gonna go for it. So let's get going. So here we are. All four of them have their perches welded on. I knew I'd had a little hole when I welded this new top part on. That's why you see a random weld mark right there, because I was able to find it and just fill it in. So, ugly welds, yes, but they should work. Made sure they're pretty on there. So anyway, time to let them cool down and clean them up a little. So before we jump into a bunch of time lapse for painting, assembling, and all that other fun stuff, we're going to quickly introduce you to some of the other things that will need to be done to make this work for this application. First off, I think that's the right part number. I'm hoping. This is where we're starting. All four of the strut inserts I got are 765015 from KYB. I had looked this up. Someone had used these before, and that just fell out. The problem with these, or the thing that you have to do to these before you can actually use them, is grind off this little nub part here. So, and we're going to show you why right now. So, strut tube. This goes in. Okay, actually, maybe we won't have to grind anything down because it looks like it will work. Let's take a quick gander. Maybe, maybe not. I don't want to remove that yet. Be careful with that. There's still room to go. Okay, well, maybe we won't need to. I'm going to investigate that because I think I out-rounded these things. But either way, so you may see me grinding down the bottom nub on this, but these are for MR2s. If I recall correctly, they're meant for the rear, and they've got dampening settings on the top. So I believe someone before had said the kind of perfect combination was a 3 stiffness on the front and a 2 on the rear. So I'm probably going to end up trying that, but anyway, that's kind of where we're at. Let's move forward. I know I said something about going to time lapse and shit like that, but I hit a weird spot dealing with these strut tubes. So let's start with threads. Let's see if you can see that. So if you look, that's a pretty coarse thread. Now if you look here, that is not coarse. And also, every single one of the gland nuts fit the strut housings where I welded on the new top. These tops were from my original struts down there. So I'd cut off the original strut tops. You can see kind of like the rut, where the rust was and the pitting and everything. These two here, let's see if I can get my display back. These two here came from someone that I bought. Like, I bought them from someone. They were a used set that was on a car. They went to Coilovers, la-di-da. I should have thought something was weird when I took the gland nut off. It wasn't fully screwed in, and there was a washer underneath. Now I know a little bit more. These go about 2 turns. I mean, once you get them in there, and then kind of stop. Why? Like, why they even go 2 turns, I don't know. But I think what I'm going to do is see if I can find, because I've looked and it looks like these are an M48 and these are probably M48 by 1.5. I looked up online and it sounds like Celicas, or at least some, I don't know which ones, are a M48 1.0. I'm hoping to maybe be able to find a set to order. If I can, then I will order them and not finish putting all these fully together. But if I can't, I might take their method and use washers if needed to get a snug fit. Because yeah, I put the old strut in here without the washer, put this on it, tightened it down, strut jiggled, it moved. Took it off, put the washer on, put the gland nut back on, and sure as shit, tighten it, gets tight, then the strut doesn't move, or the insert. So yeah, at some point during those struts' life, they ended up with a different strut casing, or maybe there was a weird year or something where they were using finer threads, or maybe this is out of like an 89, whereas this is out of an 88, and maybe in 88 they used a coarser thread. This was stuff I did not know. But I'm going to move forward because I've went through by hand with things like this, because I tried forcing them down even further and kind of marred all the threads. So I took this for these and went through by hand and just kind of carved out all the crap I had done. Then I used this, which is I believe it's a 1.0 thread, and went through the inside and just tried to clean out all the threads and get rid of any marring that I might have caused. So anyway, I'm going to move on to cleaning those things up, painting them, and all that fun jazz. Let's get going. So, I was hoping that this was going to be the last video for the coilover stuff, but as I had told you guys earlier in the video, I've got 2 struts here that whoever, at some point during their life, someone just kind of made do with what they had. So they put wrong gland nuts in here and then did washers to hold the strut in place. That wasn't very good for the threads. I think I may have repaired them a bit, but I need to find a gland nut with a finer thread than this. Because if I don't, then when I go to put the coilover sleeve on, which is pretty much even with it, there's no gland nut to actually hold it down. Whereas like you can see here, when it's all the way down, this coilover sleeve is going to go right up against it. So it should hold it down, at least I think. So with that said, thank you for watching. It should only be one more part for this DIY coilover thing. And then we can move on to actually installing everything on the car. So that's the goal, that's the plan. Gonna keep moving forward, might have to hit a junkyard, yada yada. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye.